Hi everyone, I'm Lokanathan from Loka QA Automation channel. Today we are going to see the new feature of Playwright where we are going to use agents for doing the automation. So when we say automation, what we can think of is we write the automation script for an application that we want to test, and then we execute, and if there are issues we'll fix them and execute. We maintain the scripts, right? So now Playwright has come up with a new feature where this can also be automated. When I say this, the manual efforts that we are putting in to create the automation script and then executing them and ensure they are working, and if it's not working, ensure it is getting maintained automatically. So all these are going to be done by the Playwright agents. So let me first go to the Playwright documentation on this. So here if you go to Playwright dev website and under the docs you see that agents, and as you see Playwright has come up with three agents. One is called planner, next one is called generator, and then the last one is healer. So as the name suggests, the planner will help us to first create the scenarios for the application that you want to test. Either it can be an application or it can be just a page. So depending on the scope that you would like to do the testing, you can do the planning. And once the planning is done, then you can use the generator agent to create the test scripts, the Playwright test scripts automatically. So you don't need to write a single line of code. You don't need to have any knowledge in any automation scripting language, but still you would be able to generate the Playwright automation scripts using this generator agent. And then finally the healer one. So this is going to come handy whenever we need to do the maintenance of the automation scripts created. So even on the first attempt it may create a script, but it may not work due to some say the dynamic locators on the page, or due to some unexpected changes in the application. There can be many reasons why the script can go wrong. So during that case, in that case, what we can do is we can use this healer agent to get our automation script maintained and updated. All right, so let's get started. What I do is first I'll go to GitHub and create a new repository, and I'll name it as Playwright Agent and then demo. So I'm creating it as a public repository. At the end of the video, what I'll do is I'll take this repository and share it with you. So this repository can be used in our VS Code. Let me go to the VS Code and let's go to this source controller. What I'll do is I'll go to file, new window, so it will be a clean slate for you to understand it better. So under this VS Code, I go to this source control and I click on this clone repository and I paste the repository which I just created a few minutes ago. And it is asking me to select a local drive where it can do the cloning. So let me go to documents. This is where I keep all my automation work, and here let us create a new folder called Playwright Agent Demo. Create, and let's select this as a repository destination. I say open, that's all. So it has opened the repository here, and it's a very plain repository. We do not have any files in it yet, so that's why you see an empty repository. So as a first step, what we do is let's go to the terminal, and here we'll first install the Playwright. The reason is, as I go back to the documents, it has few prerequisites. Okay, So this is how we will install it, but the prerequisite is the VS Code should be the version which is above 1.105. Most of us will have the latest VS Code. If not, you just go here and check for updates and install it and ensure that the version of VS Code that you are using is greater than this v1.105. And the next thing is always go with the latest version of Playwright. So let me go to installation, and then here you find the command to install the Playwright. Copy this, or you can use this button to copy. Come back and right click and paste it. So the prerequisite here is, first of all, you should have Node.js installed in your laptop. Only then you will be able to install Playwright. If Node.js is not installed, please get it done. And also another prerequisite obviously is the VS Code. Install VS Code also in your laptop, and then you should be able to follow all the steps that I'm showing in this video to put your hands on in the Playwright agents. Okay, so let's install this, and it is asking me what type of script I'm going to use. Let me go with JavaScript, and then yes, I want to put all my tests inside the tests folder. And then do you want me to add a GitHub Actions workflow? I say yes. And then install Playwright browsers. Obviously I want the browsers to be installed, so it is installing. It's a quick process. It has installed. Once it installs, you can see here the required folders are created, .github folder with the YAML file, and these are not pretty important for our today's topic, which is Playwright agents. So here under tests, you'll see that example spec.js and then node modules. So this is pretty much important, because without node modules, you will not be able to run your Playwright scripts that you're creating. And then this has created the package.json. It has certain configurations, and also you have this playwright.config.js. So this tells us where is the exact directory of tests, and then what is the report that it should generate at the end, and also should we have the traces for the executions that we are doing, and then what are the different browsers in which your script will get executed. For now, all three are enabled: Chromium, Firefox, WebKit. I'm not getting into the details of Playwright, guys. If you want, I can make a separate video on the Playwright, and I can get to the details of each and every configuration. I just want to give you an overview of how the Playwright project will look like, and what are the different components that you will get as soon as you install Playwright. So very importantly, under this tests, all the tests, that spec files we are going to create will get stored, and under GitHub you will have a folder called workflows, and this can be used to execute your test script from the pipeline GitHub Actions. Okay, now let's go back to the documentation and go to the agents. And to get all these three agents, what do we need to do? It's VS Code, so I'm going to use this npx playwright init agents, initialize agents, and then loop VS Code. I copy this command. So I just want to say this, Playwright has a pretty good documentation, which will be easy for us to follow and learn anything that Playwright is newly introducing. So now I'm going to install this agents. It is very quick, as you see. This has done the installation, and when I go to GitHub, previously there was only one folder. It was workflows, and now it has added another folder called agents. Under agents, you see that there are three .md files added. So one is the planner, as you see here, and then the generator, and then the healer. So these are the three agents that we will be using and creating automation, or first of all creating the manual scenarios using the planner, and then generator will create the automation scripts, and then healer will use it for maintaining the automation scripts, right? Okay, so next is, it says all these are done. When I read the logs that I'm seeing in the terminal, it says these are done, but to do, it says this is to do, and it is asking me to go to my GitHub settings, Copilot, coding agent, and MCP configuration. So I'll copy this piece of code or configuration, and go to my repository. This is my repository. Under this, click on settings and then Copilot, coding agent, and the coding agent MCP configuration. I paste this and then I'll click on save MCP configuration. So it says MCP configuration saved successfully. Cool. So I'm completely done with this. So I'm good to start with my how can I say, I'm good to start using these agents now. Let me get started. So I'll close this. So for today's session or demo, what I'm going to do is I'll have a testing website, this practice automation demo website. I'll go to the browser and first I'll show you. As you see, it is a simple login page, and where we can use the username and password given on this page to log in and ensure that the login is successful when I use the correct username and password. Right. So now I'm going to task Playwright Agents to create first a test plan for this particular page, login page, and then I'll use that test plan for creating the automation scripts automatically, and then finally, if there are any failures, I'll use the healer to automatically update the failing scripts. That's it. Let me go here, and when I on the right side, so first on the VS Code, you need to have what is it, the extension, the GitHub Copilot chat. So this is already installed in my VS Code. If it is not installed in yours, please get the extension GitHub Copilot chat. Once it is installed, it will be shown like this on the VS Code. Click here and click on open chat, and in this chat window you can see that you get a small drop down list box, and here you can select the different agents that you want to work with, right? So I'll select the planner agent. So before I install this planner, all three agents, I wouldn't have got these options. It would have only given me agent and ask. But right now I'm getting these three additional options. So let me make use of them. I'm selecting this Playwright test planner, and after which I'm going to give a small prompt. So as I mentioned, I'll take this application URL and I'll say that create a test plan for the login page. So I'm simplifying the scope here. So I'm not saying that for the entire application. I'm saying that only for the login page I'm asking it to create a test plan. Login page of the application, and I'm giving the URL. So let's see what it does. So it automatically launches the browser. You can see the moment I gave this prompt, and then it is asking me some permissions, right? So it is saying I'll help you create a comprehensive test plan for that login page. So it understands where exactly I am pointing it to. So it is saying login page. Let me start by setting up the page and explore the interface. So for it to explore the browser and interface, I have to give the permission, and it is just not once. It'll keep prompting me and I'll keep giving the permission. There is one more way to avoid this. I can say always allow, but I don't want to do that because I like to have human in the loop. So anything that Playwright and Playwright agents are doing, I want to confirm and consent. Only then it should do those tasks. So let me give allow for now, and I see what it is doing. Now it says this is the URL to which he is going to navigate, he or she is going to navigate. I'm saying allow and review. and you can see that it has navigated. And then now let me navigate to the login page and explore its interface. Now it is understanding the interface. I'm saying allow. So when I say interface, it is trying to understand what are the different elements present in this page and what kind of actions it can perform. All those things it is analyzing. So perfect. I have explored the login page. Let me analyze what I found and create a comprehensive test plan. So it analyzed it already, and it is now creating the test plan. As you see, it already read the page, and it says a login form with username and password fields, a submit button, instruction showing valid credentials, error message areas for input invalid inputs. The page provides test cases examples, right? So nice. Now let me create a detailed test plan based on the interface. I'm going to approve this, and it is already saying that the test plan saved to specs/login test plan. So it has created a folder called specs here, as you see, under which it's going to keep the test plan MD. I'm saying allow. So it has created 5 test suites. One is happy path login page, another negative username test, and then negative password test, and then edge cases. Let's go and see what are the edge cases it has identified, and then UI and functionality test. Okay, let's go there. And as it mentioned, it has created login test plan.md. So it has started giving us the overview of the application. It's a very nice documentation, and then it classifies its scenarios into happy path, negative scenarios, and then edge cases, and then UI functionality. So you can go through how detailed the test cases it has created. So since it's a very simple example that I've taken, by just reading the name of the test scenario, I can understand that successful login with valid credentials. So what will happen when we enter the valid credentials, and then login with incorrect username, what should happen, and then login with empty username, what should happen, and then login with username having leading or trailing spaces. So these are the different types of scenarios that Playwright agent can think of its own, and then it created based on the screen that we have given as a scope. So out of so many, what I'll do is I'll pick only few, because I don't want to take much of your time. So let me take this. And then login with incorrect username. So first one is the very positive happy path, successful login with valid credentials. The second is login with incorrect username, and then I'll pick login with incorrect password. Correct. So here it is. Okay, so I have taken these 3 scenarios, and let's see how Playwright can create automation test scripts for these scenarios. For that, as I mentioned, we need to use test generator. So let me select test generator here, and then it has already selected the context login test plan MD. If it is not selected, you go and select this context. By clicking on the file, you can select the context. Okay, and then now I'll put a prompt: create automation scripts only for the scenarios I don't know. Okay, good. So now I have selected the test generator, and I'm giving the prompt as create automation scripts only for the scenarios: successful login with valid credentials, login with incorrect username, login with incorrect password. And let's see. Again, it's going to ask us few permissions when it is creating the automation script. You can see that it has launched the browser, and it is asking me to allow. So since I'm confident that Playwright is not going to do anything malicious in my system, I'm going to allow them. But I strongly recommend that read through what Playwright is going to do and understand it is not going to do anything that you are not intended to do. So only then you do the allow, because it is always good to review what AI is doing, right? So keep that as a best practice. And again, I'm allowing. All right. So when this is doing, I would like to quickly give you what is an agent and what is an MCP. It's a very high level view I'll be giving you. Um, so first of all, what is an agent? Just from the name, what we understand is uh, this agent, right? So let's take some real-time examples. We have agents. This term, agent term, we have come across in insurance industry, in banking industry, or in automotive industries, right? So there will be an agent who will reach out and he will guide us in uh, meeting our goals. For example, if I have a goal of taking a policy, I'll go to an insurance agent, and that goal now will become a shared goal. So that agent will also have the same goal, and the agent will have the required tools. So what I mean by tools, the insurance agent will have an access to their application, insurance company's application, and then he will log into it and he will gather the details from me, and then he will key in those details into the application and create a policy for me, right? So likewise, agent in the AI context is, it has a goal and also it has certain tools already with it, and then it has a memory because it has to stay on the context, right? So whatever you say first, and then you will give sequence of directions or sequence of instructions to the agent. So it has to memorize all the instructions that you're giving, and then try to reach the goal using the tool, using the instructions, using the context. All this it will do autonomously until it reaches that goal. It will work continuously. So that is what is agent in AI context. And what is MCP? MCP is nothing but a protocol, model context protocol. So we all would have heard about the FTP, HTTP and all. FTP is file transfer protocol, and then HTTP is hypertext transfer protocol. It is nothing but when there are two systems want to interact with each other, then there should be a common agreement how these two are going to interact. So that is called protocol. And just assume a USB port, irrespective of the device. Say for example, it can be a pen drive, then we can connect to the USB port, and the content of the pen drive can be read, and the same USB port can be used for a mouse, for a wired mouse, or can be used for a wired keyboard. So the devices can be different, but the channel through which it is going to communicate with your system is that USB port, right? So likewise, MCP is also a kind of a middle point of the port where the multiple AI tools can talk to each other without any difficulty. So previously it was very hard, before this MCP it was very hard for two AI tools to communicate, but after this MCP, now people are following certain standards whenever they create AI tools, so that the interactions between their AI tool with the external world's AI tool become easy. So that is MCP and agent. So agent has the tool, agent has the knowledge, but if agent wants to work with this browser, then MCP is required, because MCP is the protocol using which it is interacting with this browser. So it keeps creating the automation script step by step. I continuously give allow, and I would like to show you the final outcome. So it has created the second test, and now it is working on creating the third test. Login with incorrect password. So I keep clicking on allow. Alright, so finally it says I have successfully created automation scripts for all three test scenarios, and it says how it named the test files. So one is successful login spec, incorrect username spec, and then incorrect password spec. All tests follow Playwright best practices with clear assertion, reliable locators, and proper error validation. So assume that all these a human will have to do. Minimum it would have taken 1 hour to 2 hours, but here by clicking allow, it has created it for us, right? So where did it put? Mostly under the tests. Let me see. Yeah, under test it has created a folder called login, and then when I open it, I can see that 3 files, spec files added by agents. So let's go with successful login and try to understand what it has done. Correct. So first of all, it goes to the page, navigates to the page, and then it ensures all the required elements are visible. So that is what it does on the steps on the lines 12 to 14 or 15, and then it enters the username on the username field, and then password in the password field, and finally it clicks on the submit button, that is the login button, and finally it validates whether the successful login message has displayed or not. Let's go to the incorrect username. So instead of using student as the username, it uses incorrect user. I understand that. And finally incorrect password. So username is correct, but the password, it is putting a different password which is incorrect. Alright, so what I do is I'll simply add a wait, otherwise it will be too fast and we'll not be able to follow what Playwright is doing. So I'll say await page dot wait for timeout. It's a hard timeout I'm adding. So script will wait 5 seconds at the end of the script, end of the execution, before it closes the browser. Let me go to all 3 scripts and I add it. Okay, so let's close this. Okay, all 3 are created. Let's run these scripts now. So just to run it, we can give it manually. For example, on the login, I right click and then copy relative path I do, and then here I can go npx playwright test, and then paste what I've copied, the path where I kept all 3 test cases, not I, the agent has kept all 3 test cases. And then very importantly, I'm going to say project is Chromium. I want to execute these 3 in Chrome browser, and then worker as 1. So what is meant by workers? Number of instances, parallel instances in which the scripts will have to be executed. I want to execute them in sequence, so that is the reason I'm giving the workers as 1. If we want to execute 2 test scripts at the same time, you can go with 2, but right now I'll stop to 1, and also I'll give headed so that we can see how the execution is going. So let's hit enter. It says running 3 tests using 1 worker. It launched the browser. Oh, it failed. That's good. It says login successfully, log out. Good. Alright, so first time when I do the execution, only the positive case, the happy path has passed, right? Successful login with valid credentials. So when I click on it, it went up to the last wait for timeout and it worked. On other two, there is a failure. So what it says, your username is invalid to be visible, but it says that strict mode violation. So what does it mean? The locator that it has used, get by text, your username is invalid, resolved to 2 elements. So that's why Playwright was not able to take a decision which element to consider for this particular execution, hence it failed. So I'm not going to fix it manually now. Though I know how to fix it, I don't want to do it because I want to see how the healer agent is going to help me here. So let me select the Playwright healer, test healer, and I'll go one by one. I don't want to put too many things. So okay, so I have selected healer. One more time I'll ensure, and then let's copy the login with incorrect username, and I'll say that is failing. Fix this. So let's see what it says. So it says it will run to see what is failing. So this is running and I'm allowing. It already says the issue is clear. It is finding 2 elements with the same text, which causes strict mode violation. So as a human, I read the error and then I understood and then I know how to fix it. But even the agent is able to understand it and it is able to give the fix automatically. This is where the autonomous is kicking in. Let me give allow. Perfect. The test is now passing. The issue was strict mode violation caused by this get by text. And what did it do? By using the more specific locator, so now it is not relying on the text, instead it is relying on the CSS. So hash error is the ID of the element, the error message element, so that's why it is using the hash error, and then it says it is fixed. So and it is asking me to give the permission to keep it. What I can do, I can show you this script. So here if I go to the incorrect password, incorrect username, so this is where it has made the changes. So previously it was locator, previously it was, this is in red, it means it's removing it. Your username is invalid to be visible. It was expecting this to be visible, but now this your username is invalid is replaced by the locator hash error, and first it ensures it is visible and then it again ensures it has the text, because the error can be anything, but in this case when I give the wrong username, the error must be username is invalid. So that's why it is validating the content of the error message and ensures it matches the correct error message. So this is awesome. So I say keep, and then I'll try to execute only this script and see if it is working. Or this time I'll execute all 3 because it's not taking much time. So again I'll execute all 3. Say it's running 3 1 worker. So it has entered incorrect username and password and it says your username is invalid. So it is waiting for 5 seconds. Just because it reached the last point of the incorrect username test case, it is waiting. Again, the successful login has also worked fine. And now you see that 2 passed and 1 failed. Last time it was only, I can go, 1 passed, other 2 failed. and this time 2 passed, only 1 failed. So let's copy this also and ask healer to fix it. Is failing. Fix it as well. I say allow. It was pretty quick. It says same issue, the get by text locator is matching multiple elements. I'll apply the same fix. So this time it doesn't even analyze. So it tries to understand the pattern of the error, and it assumes the error or the root cause of the error will be the same. So it gave the same fix and it is asking us to try it out. So it says it is fixed. I say I keep it, and then this time I'm going to run all. Okay, so your password is invalid. Very good. Next is your username is invalid. Pretty good. And then the positive scenario, logged in successful. Amazing. So it is all done. And you can see that the passed and the report is generated. Okay. Maybe just because everything worked, it did not show the report. What I do is I'll copy this and paste npx playwright report. Now you see that all 3 passed. Passed. Incorrect password. Passed. And passed. How easy it is. I created 3 automation scripts without even writing a single line of code. And it is just not navigation. It is navigation plus assertions. So validations, right? It ensures the right user message or the error message, and it ensures the right login successful message and everything. And very importantly, just for this demo, I've taken the 3 scenarios from the test plan generated. So if you remember, this was the test plan and it has generated multiple scenarios, and I picked only 3. What if I want to create automation scripts for all these, and agent can create them in minutes, and I can use them as my regression for every release. So think about the power of Playwright Agents and how it can help you in your application automation, and use it wisely. So as I say, as I strongly believe, AI and agentic AIs are not going to replace us. It is going to empower us. So we'll use them to improve the speed in which we perform our work, and we'll be the master, and let that do the work that we want to do for hours in minutes. So with that, thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for watching this Playwright Agent video. And if you have any comments, if you have any questions, please do share it with me in the comments. I'll check them and I'll try to answer them. Thank you so much. Until we see in the next video. Bye for now.